competitive exams and for communication skills. The first idiom we have is somebody's best bet. The first idiom is somebody's best bet. Now the origin of this idiom comes from the act of gambling. So in the olden times or in the olden period, when there used to be horse race, people used to place bets, B-E-T-S. People used to place bet. Placing bet means which horse is going to win, which horse is going to lose. So that's a kind of gambling. That's how this phrase comes into origin, somebody's best bet. Now, the meaning of this idiom is something that you do which will give you success. Okay, something that you do which is going to give you a positive outcome. Something that you do will give you success. Something that you do will give you a positive outcome. Whatever action you take that will lead to success, whatever course of action that you take, that you initiate, is going to lead you to success. The safest course of action, the safest action that is going to give you success. That's the meaning of this idiom, somebody's best bet. Now, if you want to create a sentence, then it will be like this. If you want to pass, then studying is your only best bet. Which means that's your only option which will lead you to success. There is going to be no other alternative. Or else you can say, are you hungry? The restaurant next door is your best bet. Your only best source of action, or course of action is going to be the restaurant next door, restaurant nearby. That's your safest, best bet. The safest course of action. This next idiom that we have is, second idiom, gone for a Burton. Gone for a Burton. Gone for a Burton. B-U-R-T-O-N. Gone for a Burton. Now, the origin of this phrase comes from the Royal Air Force. The Britain Air Force. During the Second World War, this idiom was used to describe a pilot who crashed, who died, who could not return back. Okay, gone for a Burton was initially this idiom was used to refer to pilots who died, who crashed, who did not make it, who did not return back to his home. That's the origin of this idiom. So guess the meaning of this idiom. It's destruction, disaster, totally ruined, destroyed, disastrous, to meet with a disaster. Okay, so for example, you can say the work that he did went for a burden. The project which he did went for a burden. Or you could say, is he coming for the party? Oh, okay, he's not. Is he coming for the party? Yes, he is coming for the party. Oh, then we are gone for a burden. The presence of the people you dislike can turn out to be disastrous. If you don't like the presence of a person, or if there is any person who is troublesome, a troublesome person, that time also you can use this kind of idiom. We are gone for a burden. The boss is coming. Oh no, we are gone for a burden. In such situations, you can use this idiom. The third idiom that we have, third idiom is bumpy ride. Bumpy ride. The word bumpy means rough. The word bumpy means rough. Uneven surface. Uneven means something is not even, something is not proper. Something is, the road is very rough. You can say it's bumpy, it is rough. Bumpy road, you mean what I'm discussing about the origin of this particular idiom. Bumpy ride, this idiom comes from the condition of broken roads, the roads that are full of potholes, the road that is full of mud and dirt, the road that is full of stones. Such a road, you can call it as a bumpy road, bumpy ride. Okay, that's how this idiom comes into origin. So, when we connect this bumpy road with our life, when we relate or connect the meaning to our life, then the meaning becomes obstacles, hardships, the problems that you face in your life, difficulties. Bumpy ride in life means you are having problems, you are having obstacles, challenges, you are having a difficult period in your life, you're having a tough time in your life. That's called as bumpy ride. So for example, you can say the passengers complained about bumpy ride, which means they were not having a smooth ride. The road was full of potholes, the road was broken, it was full of stones. Also, you could use it as a metaphor also. Metaphor means you can use it to compare with the instances of life. For example, you can say that particular organization or that particular company is having a bumpy ride, which means that company is not making any profit. It's going in total loss. He's having a bumpy ride in his life, which means he's having problems in his life. The company is having a bumpy ride, which means the company is having a loss. They are not making any profit. The passengers are having a bumpy ride, which means the road is uneven. The road is not smooth. Okay. The fourth idiom is bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. Ever heard of it? Bumper to bumper. So this particular idiom, we find it commonly used with the road traffic. We all get stuck in the road traffic. So when the cars, they line up, when the vehicles, they line up one after the other, that's called as bumper to bumper. Okay, it comes from the traffic which is so congested that one vehicle's front bumper touches another vehicle's back bumper. So that's how this idiom originated, bumper to bumper. You get stuck in a road traffic, it is very congested. The vehicles are all too close to each other, touching each other. Now the meaning of these phrases, as I said, very close to each other. One car behind the other, one after the other. Very close together. It's a traffic jam. For instance, you could say, we got stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. Instead of using just the word traffic, you can polish the sentence. You could say, you can use an embellished sentence with such idioms. That is, you can say, we got stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. Next idiom is something which is very common and known to all. Burn midnight oil. Burn the midnight oil. Okay, burn the midnight oil. We learn this, we might have learned this idiom right from our young days, right from our childhood days. We have been known to this idiom. It's very common. So the origin of this phrase is, it came in 17th century. It came in 17th century. It was first used by Francis Quarles in 1635. So in those days, people used to use oil lamps to study, because then that time they had no electricity. So in order to get light for studies, for work, for job, for occupation, they used to rely on oil lamps which would provide them with light instead of electricity. So that's the origin of this idiom. And the meaning of this idiom, as we know, it is studying late at night. To study late at night. To keep on working late at night. You remain awake late until night. Stay awake late and up to the night. You are working something, you are studying something. That means you are burning the midnight oil. For example, you could say he has to burn the midnight oil in order to pass his exams, which means he has to work very hard. Sixth idiom is have your fingers or hand in the till. Have your fingers or hand in the till. In the till. Now what is the meaning of till? The origin of this idiom is, you have to know what is the meaning of till. till is a drawer or a registry. registry. Registry is nothing but a cash drawer. A drawer or a shelf in which you keep money, you keep cash. So how it came into origin is in olden times, in shops and all, in retail shops, in wholesale shops in London, people used to take the money or the cash from the drawer. People used to take the money which was kept in the registry, cash registry. This particular idiom has got its origin from British English. So this has origin, this act of picking the money from the drawer has originated from Britain. Have your fingers or hand in the till. Till means a cash drawer, a drawer or a shelf or a registry where you keep the cash. So it means stealing money, robbing money, taking money without letting the employer know about it. Stealing money from your workplace, stealing money from your employer. That's the meaning of this idiom. For example, you can say, the employee was suspended or terminated because his fingers or hand were found in the till. Or you could say, because he had his fingers in the till, he had his hand in the till, which means he stole the money from the workplace. You could say he was suspended from his job because he had his fingers in the till. He was fired by the management or by the manager, by the boss, because they found his fingers in the till. Now next idiom is tickle or tinkle the ivories. Tickle or tinkle the ivories. The ivories. Okay. One of the beautiful idiom. Tickle or tinkle the ivories. We cannot guess the meaning of this idiom. It's very beautiful. So the ivories refer to piano. Piano. You might be familiar with this word piano. It is the musical instrument wherein we play the keyboard. It's also called as a keyboard. So the origin of this phrase comes from tickling or tinkling. Tickling or tinkling means to touch a person, touching a person in a very funny way, touching a person in a very humorous way, touching a person that it makes the person to laugh in a very humorous, funny and comical way. That's how this idiom originated. Tickle or tinkling means touch. So tickle or tinkle the ivories means playing the keyboard, playing the musical instrument, playing the piano. After we had our dinner, after we had our lunch, he decided to tickle the ivories. He started playing, instead of saying he started playing the piano, you can say he tinkled the ivories. Next idiom is go beetroot. Next idiom is go beetroot, or go beet red. Go beet red. Now this idiom, obviously it gets its origin from the beetroot, which is a vegetable which has got a very deep purple reddish color. So that's how this idiom comes into origin. Go beetroot or go beet red. The meaning of this idiom is to have very red face. What is the situation or the scenario or the circumstance when we get a red face? It can happen when we go angry. It can happen when we are embarrassed in front of an audience. It can happen when we are frightened. We can get a red face when we are nervous or when we are angry, when we are intensely angry, or when we are humiliated by someone. So that's the meaning of this face, to be very angry. Very angry. So when asked about the project, when the boss asked her to submit her project, she went beet red or she went beetroot. When somebody asked her age, she went beetroot. When somebody asked her salary, she went beetroot. Next idiom is yellow bellied. Yellow bellied. Okay. Yellow bellied, it comes from, not much information is available about the origin, but all we know is that this comes from British English, from a place called as Lincolnshire. Later this idiom has become a slang in American English. Slang is informal way of talking. Yellow bellied means to be a coward. Coward means not at all brave, to be nervous, to have fear, to be frightened. The person can be frightened easily. The person has got a lot of fear. He is nervous. He is a coward, not at all brave. So, if you want to address a person as a coward or a nervous person, then you can use this phrase, yellow bellied. Yellow bellied person. Okay. Next idiom is tenth idiom is turn the page. Tenth idiom is turn the page. The origin of this idiom comes from the act of turning the pages in a book. This phrase, how this phrase originated, it comes from the action of turning the pages. So it comes from the act of turning the pages in a book. When you turn a page in a book, it symbolizes something new, new phase, new beginning, new chapter. Okay, when you turn, over the years, the meaning got attached to this action of turning pages in a book. And that meaning is to have a new life, new beginning, new phase, new completely new chapter, starting your life afresh. Fresh start in your life, a new beginning in your life. Okay, you completely forget about your past mishaps, about your past difficulties, about your past. You totally remove all the past memories and experiences, and you are beginning a new life. That's the meaning of this particular idiom. For example, you can say the manager decided to turn the page and focus on growth. The manager decided to turn the page means the manager decided that he will not think about the past. He will start a new beginning. So that's it all for today. Stay tuned for more idioms.